Hey gaming fans, so today I have another Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile, and this one is Sphinx, or Pyramid of Light as some people like to call it. This is also for the GOAT format. I do like to play around with this deck every once in a while in both formats, you know, the regular format and in GOAT format. So let's get to the deck and I'll explain my choices. So we start off, we play with the Sphinx Talea. We play with 3 of them. So I'm going to max out on the Sphinx monsters because the deck is based around them, so why not? So this one is pretty much your weaker of the two. It has 2,500 attack and 3,000 defense, and you can pay 500 life points to special summon this card when Pyramid of Light is on the field. This card cannot attack during the turn it is normal summoned or special summoned, so it's kind of like a tune or the earlier tunes. And when this card, when this card is in the graveyard, it cannot be special summoned. And if it attacks a defense position monster as a result of battle, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half the defense of the destroyed monster. So it's got a nice little piercing style effect there. And it's a level 10, which is pretty irrelevant in this build. But I have built decks that kind of utilize the level 10 part of it, but not in GOAT format. And now for the bigger of the two, we have Andro Sphinx. So these two made their debut in the Yu-Gi-Oh movie that came out, the first cartoon movie that came out actually. So this is, he's the big guy, he's 3,000 attack. He also has the ability that if Pyramid is light on the field, you can pay 500 life points to special summon him. He also cannot be special summoned from the graveyard, he can't attack the turn he's summoned. And if he destroys a defense position monster as a result of battle, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half the attack of the destroyed monster. So it's the opposite effect of Sphinx Talea. But, I mean, that's just a bonus. You're really going to be focusing on his really big attack. So now, to get the Pyramid of Light out, I decided to play 3, a Cat of Ill Omen. So the Pyramid of Light is a trap card. So Cat of Ill Omen is a beast monster that when it's flipped face up, you get to select a trap from your deck and place it on top of your deck. If Necro Valley is active on the field, you get to add the selected card to your hand instead. So essentially this card, if Necro Valley is out, it just brings a trap card to your hand from your deck. Really good in that you can grab whatever trap you actually need at the time. And because I'm playing that, I decided to go with Gravekeepers because I'm going to be using Necro Valley, so why not use Gravekeepers? So I put 2 of the Gravekeeper's Guard in here. So when he flips up, you select a monster on your opponent's side of the field and return it to the hand. 1900 defense, so he's a good stall card. Also can help if you need to tribute summon the Sphinx because they require 2 tributes. And then of course we got 3 of the Gravekeeper's Spy. Again, high defense. This can serve as tribute fodder as well, because when one flips over, if it doesn't die by battle, you get to search out another Gravekeeper monster, and then on your turn, you'll have your 2 monsters to tribute. And then for the last card, because we are playing flip effect monsters, and because we might want to flip down a monster your opponent controls, 1 Tsukiyumi, which is the spirit monster that returns to your hand, but when she's summoned, you get to flip a monster face down. So that's the monster lineup, very slim monster lineup, just the Sphinxes and the Gravekeepers and the 1 Tsukiyumi. So naturally, we have to play Necro Valley. This card is great at shutting down a lot of other strategies, especially the Chaos strategies, because they cannot banish anything from their graveyard. Really good effect. If you don't focus on the graveyard, it really messes up your opponent. Not to mention it boosts up your Gravekeepers by 500 attack and defense. So it kind of makes them a little bit more stronger defense to stay on the board, and becomes more aggressive. You can actually attack with them and do some pretty hefty damage. To search out the Necro Valley, because it's pretty important, we want to get it out there for our Cat of Ill Omen. I put in 3 terraforming just to make sure we get the Necro Valley onto the field, so that when we flip our cat up, we get to add the trap directly to our hand. Then to assist in the Sphinx, getting the Sphinx on the board, I put 3 Stray Lambs. Now you're probably wondering why I'm playing Stray Lambs, but they're pretty straightforward as what they're going to do. When you activate this card, you cannot normal summon, flip summon, or special summon during this turn. And then you special summon 2 lamb tokens, which are beast level 1, 0/0 in defense on your side of the field. They're kind of like a mini scapegoat. Now the difference between these guys and scapegoats is you can tribute set with these guys, because it only says you cannot normal summon or flip summon or special summon, but you can tribute these guys off to set. So you would essentially play the card, you would summon your 2 tokens, and then you can tribute set your 2 tribute monster and get them onto the field. Of course, that does leave them vulnerable to cards that attack set cards, so we will deal with that as well. And then, of course, we have our staples: Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity, Snatch Deal. I didn't put Delinquent Duo in this build. I didn't find that it really helped it out very well. And then we have Mystical Space Typhoon, because we want to deal with back row, and we're not playing Heavy Storm in this deck. Now for the traps, we have 2 Pyramid of Light. So basically I play 2 because you don't want to draw this card too often. You want to draw it when it's just right. You also can search it out with your cat. So if this, basically it has no effect. If it's face up on the field and it gets removed, you destroy Andro, Sphinx, and Sphinx Telea from your side of the field and remove them from play. So you could build a strategy on that you can get them out and then destroy or bounce this card and then remove them from play, and then special summon them with Return from a Different Dimension, which was the card that was also released with the movie pack. Or you can go with the Thinian play. I chose not to run Thinian. He requires both Andro, Sphinx, and Sphinx Telea to be destroyed at the same time. But, you know, it's just a card that would just be stuck in your deck most of the time, so I decided not to run him. Then, as you saw, I have 2 Desert Sunlight. So this is going to help with the fact that you probably might set your Beast cards or your Gravekeeper's cards. And so if your opponent tries to play Nobleman of Crossout, you can now go and flip them face up, and then they're no longer targets for Nobleman. Or if you want to get off your flip effects really fast, you could use Desert Sunlight, as it flips all monsters on your side of the field to defense position, to face up defense position. So if they're face down monsters, they will flip face up. So this will actually, you know, trigger any flip effects that you might need to get off. Then for more protection, I put in 2 Spell Shield type 8, similar to using the Desert Sunlight. If they try to Nobleman of Crossout your face downs, you could just activate this card and negate the effect. Also, this has the added bonus that you can ditch a spell card to negate any spell card that's being activated, like Magic Jammer. And you do have quite a few spell cards that might be dead in your hand, like an extra Necro Valley or an extra Terraforming. So you might hold on to those to be used for Spell Shield, just in case your opponent tries to play something deadly, like a Heavy Storm or Lightning Vortex or something like that. Then for more protection, I put in 2 Solemn Judgments. Probably part of the other reason why I don't play Duo in this deck is because your life points could get pretty low. So you do need to worry about that in this deck. But Solemn Judgment can stop their plays that might become really detrimental to you. Like if they ruin your Pyramid of Light with your Android Sphinx on the table when you go to attack or something. So you might need to do some kind of protection with that. Then I put in a Mirror Force, again, just for, you know, protection in case they start to get aggressive on you. They summon a whole bunch of big Chaos monsters and go for the attack. And then I put in 3 Dust Tornadoes, really just for, you know, any kind of background shenanigans. Like I said, I'm not playing any Heavy Storm, so I decided to make up for it with 3 Dust Tornadoes. You probably could take one out, add in a Ring of Destruction if you want, if you always want to play Ring of Destruction. Or if you want to maybe go to 3 Solemn Judgments. I mean, it's entirely up to you, but I figure you do need to worry about back row. Last thing you want to do is run into a Mirror Force. Anyways, that's the deck profile. Let me know what you think. You know, obviously it's a fun deck. I wouldn't go into like a major tournament with this, but maybe for fun tournaments or maybe for just playing around with your friends. Anyways, hope you like the deck. Let me know what you think. Hope you subscribe. Talk to you later.